Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I'm learning more about what took place in regards to the Lakers side of things. Learning new information. So the Lakers did make an offer for Kyrie Irving, one pick, Russell Westbrook's contract. I'm not sure the framework of the pick that they were offering, but it wasn't a very competitive deal. So the Lakers weren't really interested in making a trade for Kyrie Irving at all, it seems to me, based on how little they were willing to put in place to make it happen. I think it came down to them not having intentions of re-signing him. Ain't no sense in giving up anything for anyone that you plan on not re-signing, and that's what we said. That's the opinion. Now, do I agree with the choice to not re-sign Kyrie Irving? Not myself, but from what I understand, they wanted him to sign a 2-year extension upon arrival, and his side wasn't going for that. They want 4 years, and they want that at the end of this summer, the beginning of the summer. So it was a situation where the Lakers wanted to kind of align his contracts with AD's and Bron's, and that was the deal breaker. Along with, from what I understand, the Nets wanted us to involve Max Christie and or Austin Reeves, and the Lakers weren't willing to part with either of those guys. We just didn't have the package, and that's the thing. You know, everybody was assuming that Russell Westbrook was going to land there. I knew for a fact they didn't want Russell Westbrook. They've been very adamant all year long about not wanting Russell's contract. There was no way they were going to bringing him to Brooklyn. He didn't have a home there. So, as a Laker fan, I look at this and I say, you guys already watched my video earlier in reaction to the Kyrie Irving trade. I talked a lot about everything from a unbiased perspective, and I kind of weighed in a little bit as a Laker fan, but I figured I'd weigh in as a Laker fan right now. Now that I have this new information, it also helps me position myself to say things that help further the opinion make sense. The Lakers just made the right decision in regards to, if you're not going to re-sign the dude, you do not give up future assets. That's an unpopular opinion. Very unpopular. Probably not what you expected from me. But if you follow me close enough, you know that's my logic. I am not in the business of giving up anything that I plan on keeping for something that's not staying for 5 minutes, because I've gone through that many times with this franchise. We keep letting assets walk out the door. So if Max Christie and Austin Reeves are players they intend to re-sign, and Kyrie Irving's a player they did not intend to re-sign, this is the only move to make. Problem is, it's misguided. It is misguided. And that's key to the opinion, is understanding that if choice in place then versus should that choice be made in the first place. And the answer is no. No, you should want Kyrie Irving. You should definitely want Kyrie Irving over Austin Reeves, Max Christie, 2 picks. Why? Because the value on Kyrie Irving is skewed by the fact that he has controversy attached to his name. You don't confuse yourself with the idea that he's actually not worth what it is that he's actually worth versus what it is that everybody's willing to pay for him, because of the fact that he's expiring, got controversy next to his name, the Boston situation went a certain way, all different things. So for me, it's like, well, those things are real, so I'm not going to give him $200 million. You know what I mean? But for me to contribute 4 years to Kyrie Irving's skill set, heck yeah, I'm going to invest in Kyrie Irving's skill set for the next 4 years at 32 years of age, when I got 2 superstars on tab that are older than that. AD's probably the same age. So getting Kyrie on a 4-year deal probably helps you keep AD for longer than the 2 years intended. Because if Bron's going to skate after those 2 years, you're going to want AD to resign out in that situation, and Kyrie would have been in place to help with that, on tab with 2 years left remaining in his contract. So you wouldn't be left alone if they both ended up skating on you. Left with nothing, which is what we're going to have. It's going to be Austin Reeves, Max Christie, and whatever's there when those guys leave. I would rather that be Kyrie Irving, and I think they would too, given the fact that their team is going to be left with just them. I mean, obviously, we're going to be a long way away from that reality, we hope. But if I'm LeBron James, I'm leaving y'all this summer. So you're not going to be far from that at all. And that's the truth, man. I think this was it for me. If I'm Bron, this was it for me, bro. I'm done with y'all. I ain't got to see no commentary. I ain't got to hear nothing. I haven't heard anybody mention LeBron James in any way. I'm just telling you how I feel as a 38-year-old man. I'm done with y'all. I'm out. If I'm LeBron James. Now, as a Laker fan, of course, I'm not going nowhere. But him, yeah, nah. Y'all did enough. Y'all done did enough, man. Y'all gonna make me run out here with what you started the season with. Have me out here with this chemistry nonsense with Russell Westbrook, probably for the rest of the season, so that you can benefit yourself. But then want to call me selfish. That's the part that kills me about LeBron's position. If I'm him, y'all want to call me selfish, but everything y'all have done has been to protect yourself and your future. But you've mortgaged your future by way of actually getting in bed with me in the first place. So you didn't want to see this all the way through, but you want me to see it all the way through. You want me to sit here in ineptitude just like you did Kobe Bryant. I have delivered a championship for y'all, but y'all did not bring me the pieces y'all were supposed to this season. And unless y'all do something over the next 4 days, I'm leaving you. I'm telling you. And that's exactly how I feel if my name is LeBron James. I'm not telling you that's how he feels. He has other things to consider. But BDF, in his shoes, I'm out, bro. I'm out. I am out. Y'all don't get to do this. Not this. Max Christie and Austin Reeves gonna keep you from getting my running mate that can help you get your next championship? That's the position you really want to take with me? That's the position you really want to take with your fan base while I'm in your uniform? Yeah, okay. Okay. You know, and that's what it is. That's the position I'd take. I'm not doing this with y'all. If I got 4 or 5 years left, it ain't going to be running next to Max Christie and on Austin Reeves. Y'all got to get me a Kyrie Irving to run with Anthony Davis because I know Anthony ain't going to be healthy. So this is a situation where the Lakers, it's fine that they didn't do this because strategically, based on what it is that they want, this is how you handle it. But what they want is probably not the want to want. They want small ball. They want rookie coaches to lead them to championships. They want fragile players to lead them to championships. And they don't want to invest in those fragile players, but they want to commit to them. What does commit actually mean? If to you guys, if not this. I just look at it and I say, you know, my position on the Brooklyn Nets wanting to not trade him to the Lakers. If the Lakers didn't open the door to be traded to him, then all that's obsolete. You go ahead and delete that video. You know, all that stuff I was talking about in regards to the Nets not wanting to give Kyrie what he wanted. If the Lakers weren't willing to bring him in, hey, it wasn't nothing to say. Wasn't nothing to say. That's over with. It's all speculation anyway, so I'm open to always being wrong. But from my perspective, the Lakers looked at Max Christie and Austin Reeves and said, I would rather just these two players and that's it over Kyrie Irving, just simple and plain. Then it just speaks to what it is we've been dealing with. It speaks to what we've been dealing with. You know, people doing things for the wrong reasons. Their instincts not driven by winning. Their instincts are driven by PR and how things are perceived, even though they don't do a good job of protecting that because they keep on looking stupid in the presence of all of us. But nevertheless, I guess that's what they're attempting to do. And as a result, they just end up losers. Look, your decisions are gonna lead to something, man. Either it's gonna play out the way it should, or it's gonna play out the way it shouldn't. And the Lakers' decisions have played out the way they shouldn't, both on the court and now we see off the court. They don't know what they're doing. When they do things, they do it wrong. They evaluate talent the wrong way. They allowed players that are not up to par to sit on their rack of their roster, and then they try to trade those players, can't trade them for nothing, featuring players that can't get nothing for them, have no value whatsoever, but they want to give them 37 minutes. I mean, this is why you suck. It's why you suck. It's why nobody takes you seriously when it's time to get to a trading table. You know, only the Lakers would look at the situation and say, you know what, because Kyrie posted something, I think I will forego an opportunity to bring me a player that can win me a championship. Instead, we're just going to sit here with our rookies that we don't probably even intend to develop properly because we're not putting them in situations to succeed. And we didn't even play Max Christie in the last game. Why is he so valuable to y'all if y'all don't want to develop him? Austin Reeves has been out for 4 weeks. What is going on with the hamstring? Are you sure you're going to be able to re-sign this guy? Are you sure he's not going to end up signing with the Suns any damn way after all this? I just want this front office to leave, man. I want the Knights at the Round Table to exit. I want security to escort them out of the building. I'm serious, man. I'm serious. They all got to go. They have to go, man. And the only people I really want around is the Bus brothers. The ones who are in position to help us with scouting. I truly want them to stick around. Genie, my friend, we've reached a space. We've reached a space where we have to be honest. If the reports are true and we didn't want to make the right move to get LeBron the piece that we have in place, it just speaks to you not being in position to make the best decision for what it is that you've already begun to commit to. You know, when you mortgage the future, this is what I said 3 years ago when we did this. When you mortgage the future, you know, you understand that there are going to be days in the future that are going to play themselves out. You still got to live those days out when they get here. And these days have come. These are the days when you know Brandon Ingram, you should probably have the return that you let go of Anthony Davis for. You should probably have waited the year to let Anthony Davis become a free agent and sign him outright so that you would have some more assets to assist with the situation. Granted, 2020 would have never happened, but I'm sure we would have won in 2021, we would have won in 2022, and maybe 2023 if we would have just kept Brandon Ingram and some of that other stuff that we just gave up, trying to jump ahead of the game. You know, doing things that didn't help us. And then just little things. The Zubac trade, again, we always mention it. All these different little things that ultimately left us with so little when a time like this came around, when we really needed to have more leverage and more assets from which to be able to work with. If we had more, we would be more willing to take a risk. That kind of thing. So it's misguided nonsense. And from a PR perspective, again, I understand not bringing Kyrie in. I'm a liar if I said I thought that was the best PR situation for this community. I just don't know that they would have taken well to him. But that's not keeping me from bringing a guy that has the skill set and talent that he has, coupled with what it shows me on paper, which is he's already won a championship with LeBron James. I mean, these are reasons to make you say, you know what? If the PR side of things don't work out, at least we know we got somebody on the floor that can do some things, you know, that can really, really help us and whose talent level is going to make that make sense even so. But when you buy into what is said about a guy and you don't bring him into your organization and you keep your defenses up, you not only shield yourself from what wrong he may do, but you also protect yourself from all the good that he would have did for your team, including probably going up in the rafters for your uniform. I mean, you just step in front of what is real, which is his talent. You got in the way. You allowed your politics, your perspectives, your position on him as a human get in the way of allowing his talent to help you go where you need to go. And that is what it really comes down to. I don't know about Brooklyn, how they feel about letting him go. Like I said, they had history. So letting him go from their perspective, I agreed with, and it made sense. Dallas acquiring him, their situation, it makes sense. They need to be desperate. They need to be thinking about themselves, and they helped themselves keep from having Luka say, I don't have anything to work with. At least they can go back to the drawing board and say, hey, we brought you Kyrie. Don't you think you should sign an extension? I mean, that's what it's about for Dallas. They don't want to lose Luka. They can't afford to lose Luka ever. So if this is going to help them do that, this is the only move to make. I can't be mad at them for that, even if I am. You know? Can't be. However, the Lakers only offering but so much, not really making it hard for Mark Cuban. Or playing hardball when they know the presence of all of this is in place, including the team who's trading Kyrie not being happy with him. You know what I mean? Since everybody wants to force feed their way to the Lakers, obviously the Lakers is the prize, and they're going to try to keep Kyrie from getting the prize. The Lakers are something to want. And so if you want that, and we don't like you, we're going to keep you from having it. So that's in place. You can't assume they're going to go back and forth to the drawing board with you in negotiations, because you're not the most important thing going on there, Rob Pelinka. The fact that they hate Kyrie is the most important thing going on there. And it seems like we didn't love him much ourselves as an organization, because we didn't give much of an offer. We weren't going to give him 4 years, and we're going to be worse off for it, in my opinion, because his talent is worth what it is that we should have been willing to pay. What we have ain't better than him. It ain't going to be. Max Christie and Austin Reeves are two of my favorite players on this team, and I don't want to give them up, but ain't neither one of them about to be Kyrie Irving or anything close to it. So, and I'm sure they wouldn't argue with that. I don't think they would argue with that. I think they would trade prototypes of their skill set for Kyrie Irving under these circumstances. I think they would. They probably wouldn't trade themselves, but they'd trade their doppelgangers because it makes sense. So this is stupid, man. I'm not going to lie to you. This is stupid to choose to not want Kyrie Irving, to keep undrafted second-round rookies, undrafted second-rounders, guys, you know what I mean, guys that we really like, but the upside ain't up there, to prioritize them as pieces of your future over a guy who's probably going to come in and go up in the rafters just by sheer nature of his talent, just speaks to why this era must end, no different than Jim Buss's era. This must end. And all Laker fans, I'm sure, are going to in unison agree with me when we say, this has been a bull crap season, y'all. We have been sold smoke. The team ain't good. just like last year. Got a different coach running the same stuff. And we're still being sold dreams of players that they are not acquiring to add to our core of players that are not reliable. That's what it is. I tell you, I've never ever once wavered from the idea that blowing this thing up was the right idea. Now, I think LeBron James should want out of here just as bad as I want to blow this thing up. Free Bron James. I've been saying that off and on for the past couple months, but never, ever a minute more so than now. Never more so than now. Never. So that's how I feel, man. Free Bron James. Get him out of here. From a positive perspective. From a I want to see him in a better place than the place I'm rooting for perspective. This is trash. And I want Brooklyn fans to pay attention to me. Because this is how y'all should feel about Kyrie Irving leaving your organization. What I just said, that's how y'all should not booing him, none of that. Because at the end of the day, if your organization was doing what they were supposed to be doing, he would have never desired to not be there, in my opinion. It would have never been an issue if y'all wouldn't have had an owner that did however he did. So, I'm not going to sit up here and act like this is a good thing and that Laker fans should be angry at Kyrie or LeBron James, rather, for wanting out of here. Hell no. Look at this nonsense. Look at this. They had a chance to pair him with a guy that he won a championship with and said no because we feel he's going to be offensive to a couple folks and we like these second rounders that we drafted a couple years ago. So we're not giving you your money, Kyrie, and we will happily accept our losses per usual since everything else we do strategy-wise leads us to that same result. Kyrie's better for not being here, and that's why I'm not so upset, to be honest with you. He's I'm not going to say a better spot in Dallas. I don't know that I think that. I really don't know that I think that. I think Dallas is a bad team right now with two great players. But I don't think the Lakers were necessarily going to be a greater spot. I don't. Small ball lineups with him and Patrick Beverley and Dennis Schroeder just nightmares. It's a nightmare, bro. It's a nightmare just like this is a nightmare. He would have been able to make it more efficient, but we still would have got rebound over. He would have probably been dealing with injuries. It wouldn't have been what y'all thought it was gonna be. I know it wouldn't have. AD probably gonna get hurt again. Bron probably go down with something too. It wasn't gonna be. It was gonna be Kyrie Irving trying his best to dribble around and take on defenses by himself in the games when those guys weren't around. And in the games where those guys were around, he was gonna have to give up the ball to them. It's going to be AD, Bron first, and then Kyrie third. And that pecking order was going to be weird. But I thought it was going to work. If Darvin Ham ran regular rotations, they'd figure it out between the three of them if they could stay healthy enough. And if they couldn't stay healthy enough, then we'd be back to square one anyway, because that's the problem now without Kyrie. Can they stay healthy enough? So it wouldn't change nothing. Yeah, man, that's what it is. I just am a Laker fan just listening to the news about the Lakers giving up such a poor offer, understanding it's the right decision for what they're looking at, and then understanding that they're looking at it this way is just why I want them gone. I want a front office in place that values the talent level of Kyrie Irving more than they value whatever the hell they got going on with Patrick Beverley and Dennis Schroeder. You know what I mean? Just because it makes sense to do that. It makes sense to feel that way. If you actually want to win, you're going to have those things in your heart automatically. Like, yo, I need better talent. I can get better talent. Let's just move these guys, scratch these guys. My competitive nature would have scratched JTA and Damian Jones already. I'd have waved them dudes just to get them off the team to improve the roster. I'm kidding you not. All this stuff that the Lakers are doing that leaves them kind of okay, but not quite good enough, I would have done what it took to make them better. What it took. If it means stretching people, whatever. If it means voiding contracts, I'm going to do that because I'm driven by beating the other guy. Literally, man. And so I just know that my front office ain't driven like that. I know they're not driven like that. Most of the players ain't driven like that. And so this is just a bunch of stuff going on right here that I just want all gone, man. The only thing I want left is the flag. I'm telling you. The only thing left at this point should be the colors. Get everything gone. That isn't obviously Max Christian, Austin Reeves. You know what I mean? We want to keep the players that we wanted to keep in the first place because they're not attached to any of this. They're just young players starting their careers. And most importantly, that's why I could part ways with them. That's exactly why I could part ways with him, because it can go either way from here. And they are role players. And I like them a lot. But they were not going to be able to do for me this season what 11 was about to do. They're not going to. They ain't going to do it next year either. So Braun is probably going to leave because you didn't get 11. And then you're going to be left with just Max Christie and Austin Reeves. And then Austin Reeves and Max Christie are probably going to leave too, because that's just what happens when role players get to a certain point and the team ain't no good. They just go on and go somewhere else. Yeah, it's time for the Lakers fan base to start doing whatever they got to do, man. We're going to watch these next 3 days, see if they can make a trade that makes us feel better about what just happened here. I'm not leaning one way or another because it's up to Toronto. If they want to give us that trade that we are hoping for, that brings us another small, great player in Fred and Gary or something like that. If we can pull off somehow a way to get that, that would be great. But if Max ain't on the table, if Austin isn't on the table, we're probably gonna run into the same thing, man. Probably gonna run the same thing. So, I mean, I don't know how upset I should feel about having assets. At the end of the day, I want my assets, but I just understand that when the objective is to win now, you can't be cheap. And I think we've crossed over from frugal to cheap. And I just think it might be a bit misguided. We might have overrated what we have. I think everything we have can be reimagined around our core. Everything. And I said that yesterday before anything like this took place. So while I didn't want to trade Max Christie, and Austin Reeves for any reason at all outside of what made sense to me, this actually might have made sense to me because I would have signed Kyrie Irving to his 4-year deal. And I would have told everybody who's offended by it to watch him dribble and watch him shoot. And you are welcome. Like literally. Because that's how great he is. You're welcome. So I think the Lakers messed up. I think they messed up. I think they handled their assets well, but I think they might have overthought this thing. They might have, man. It depends on what happens over the next 3 days. But if what you're holding on to ultimately loses you the big picture, which is ultimately holding on to your core, so I'm telling you, once Braun leaves, AD should probably ask out too. He should ask out. He shouldn't even want to stay here longer than Braun, because you can see how they acted. They ain't gonna build nothing around you if Braun ain't here. Nothing that you're gonna be happy with. They can't even bring themselves Kyrie. They can't even bring themselves to bring themselves expiring contract Kyrie Irving at $36 million. So this tells me that they may want to hold on to Russell Westbrook because the value of all of this might be the money coming off the books. And they got 47 coming off the books. They didn't want to trade for Kyrie expiring. And the only thing that would have happened if he would have expired is they would have got rid of what they have in place. And then they would have proceeded to have another expiring contract at $30 lesser dollars, which is definitely something you do not want. Rather have 47 than 36. 11. What's the difference? Imagine that. I don't know, man. All of this is weird. What I will say, though, is Dallas ain't winning a damn thing. Sorry, Kai. Sorry, Luka. Y'all can't play D. It's not happening. So I don't think Kai is resigning there. I think he's already told Dallas he ain't resigning there. I think he's already told them that. And a part of me thinks they don't really care that much because they can very easily take the money coming off the books from him expiring at 36 and have that for the free agency. So that's a win-win-win all the way around for Dallas. They don't care if he resigns or not. That's the elephant in the room that I don't think anybody's mentioned that I've been listening to. Because they don't really care if he resigns, bro. They don't care. Just give me that 36 off the books. We straight. So, yeah, Dallas is definitely the big winner tonight. The more I think about that trade, the more I like it for Dallas. Because I don't care nothing about no Dorian Finney-Smith if I'm Dallas. They were trying to trade him anyway. I don't care about no Spencer Dinwiddie. He's basically a role player. Even though a lot of people like him a lot, and I know he's playing well, 40% shooter, all that, he's a role player, y'all. He's a role player. A high-level scoring role player like Norman Powell, but still a role player. So letting him go didn't hurt nothing. Those picks were awful from what I understand. The second rounders, the first rounders, like the very last pick in 29. It's like a 30th pick in the 29 draft. It's probably going to exchange hands probably 8 times before it's actually drafted. So these are the type of things we look at and we say, I don't know, man. The Lakers just they don't know. They don't know, bro. That's how I feel. I honestly feel like we're in a space where I'm just looking at people who just don't know no better. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get angry, and then other times you just look at people like they're really, really slow, and you just gotta respect the fact that they slow, bro, and teach them. That's what this channel is for. I'm trying to teach people, man. I'm trying to teach them how they can help themselves. I look at the Pelicans. I say, y'all got some people to wave. I look at the Brooklyn Nets. I say, y'all got some people to wave. I look at Damian Jones, JTA. We got some people to wave. You got to start getting these guys that cannot be retraded off of your team. Stop putting these guys there and just letting them sit there for multiple years. Even if voiding their contract is a hassle financially, you will make that up in the difference when you find one of them G League dudes that you turn into a real player. It will make up the difference. But as long as you're sitting there with those negative assets on the back of your bench, they're going to be eating away at your value, and it's going to be hard to get better. Waive these dudes, void these dudes. I don't care what it takes. I will be the bad guy because I'm thinking of it from a structuring standpoint of what's going to work on the basketball floor, and I know exactly what's keeping these teams from getting better. I know exactly what's keeping them from getting better. So they're going to have to be cutthroat and real if they want to get better, if they want to be competitive and beat their enemies, which is all this should be about. I know it's about making money, but if basketball don't come first, the money ain't going to be made in the long run, I tell you. So that's what I got to say, man. That is my thought. Good luck to everybody involved, especially to Rob Pelinka, who's going to get the worst of this. You're going to get the worst of this, Rob. And I know Jeannie's behind this saying, I just don't trust what Kyrie's going to do. And that's her loss because that's the most talented player she was going to be able to find to help this situation. So now the only thing she's going to be left with is the understanding that she chose her concerns about Kyrie over the preservation of this core. And now the only thing left to do is watch them go bye-bye because that is what you've done here. That's what you've done, Jeannie. You shut the door on LeBron. So if that was your intention, I hope you were happy with it. Because as far as I can tell, there is nothing but the sunshine keeping him in Los Angeles at this point. And there's a whole nother team right down the hall that he can go to and stay right here and not have any trouble. You better hope he ain't thinking like that. My name is BDO44. I thank you all for watching.